something. Thank you. Welcome back to Cardcaptor Sakura Anime Review Part 13. This we need 7 episodes of the anime. Episodes 64 to 70. Yep, I finally finished the series. These episodes are gearing toward the very end of the damn series. Yep. That, I mean, yeah, this is pretty much the end of this particular series. But there's still some film in the specials. That's really all to go. Now, first one is basically Sakura ski class and the snowy ski class. Yep, they go. Basically Sakura's class go on ski trips to the mountains, and Sakura is a very terrible skier, along with Lee. Yeah, he sucks at skiing. Though he's slow learning, he gets a little bit better by the end of the episode. And at one point, they have it where Lee, well, still hasn't confessed his feelings yet for Sakura, so, well, Arrow decided to go with Sakura because she's got a little better, go the intermediate course. They get to the top, and they have to go back down because of the snowstorm. And eventually, an avalanche starts up, and Sakura basically tries to transform her card into a Sakura. She does, but she gets knocked unconscious, so Ario has to stop it himself. It's implied that he actually did it himself. Yeah, but it's not surely shown. But it's not the first episode they actually. It's probably by far an interesting episode. It's actually probably the second episode of the series where they actually do something like this, and it's not set in the actual town itself that the show is normally set in. This one they go to the mountains. The last time they did this was when they went to the beach. Because normally they usually stay like around the area when they do the stuff. That's pretty much the episode itself. Yep. 65. Sakura, Yukiko, and the finishing bar. Yep. This is basically Sakura getting involved in the movie. Yep. Ruby in her false form. This had recruit Sakura, but she's happened to stumble across the set just by sheer coincidence, and she starts this thing where she starts. There's a recurring gag in this season where she basically hugs Toya for some reason. It's never explained why. And she's done the same thing for Sakura. As for why she does this, no idea. I mean, I get the fact she probably finds Sakura. She says she finds Sakura cute, but nothing beyond that at all. So she created a movie, and she plays Yukito's sister. Interesting. And basically, in the episode, they kind of wrap up a plot thread that's been running for the past 7 episodes. Yukito will start disappearing, and it ties into Yukio. So Toya gives his power to Yukito so he can basically stay around. Yep, and never swords use power to full. Yep. And pretty much that's the episode itself. Yeah. When they shot, now toward the end of the episode, they actually go to Ario's house. Yeah, it's revealed in a later episode. This is actually Cloud Reed's house. How? The chair. And Sakura gets a chance to sit in this chair. It's like, wow, I feel Cloud Reed's magic. Now, Arrow is basically revealed to be Cloud Reed. We'll explain a little later. And he has no problem with her sitting in his chair. And it looks like a very comfy chair to sit in. And he's like quite small. Yep. And prior to basically to his power, there was one point they're practicing a scene near a balcony of all things, and Yukiya falls off, so Sakura uses the windy card to basically slow him down, so he basically survives. That's pretty much what it. And then pretty much with 66, it's pretty much everybody should be shown the film. And then, of course, and they decided to go to this festival later on, like right after they see this particular film. And the attendees basically are Sakura, Toya, Tomoyo, Lee, and Yukito. They go inside this particular like room, which is run by Ruby Moon, and basically Sakura confesses her feelings for Lee. He politely rejects her. saying, well, she should find somebody else, and someone she should deeply care for aside from him, because he's very similar to her father. So, and Sakura points out the person he deeply cares for is her brother. It's very heavily implied in the series that he's in love with Toya. In the manga, these two are lovers. Okay, fine, whatever, moving on. Yeah, I had nothing against this at all. It's particularly very odd development. Now, back in the 90s, this is very unacceptable to do something like this. Nowadays, it's perfectly fine to do something like this. It's the anime itself, as far as I know, never made a reference to the fact these two are lovers. It just said they're really close friends. Even the English dub, the one I've watched, was the second dub they did for the series, which is close to the English sub. I know people. I know from a commenter that he's actually a big fan of the original dub of the series. I have listened to a few. I remember listening to like a couple episodes of it, and I thought it was pretty interesting. And I listened to this episode. I like this dub, the one they do for the series, but I'll get to more on that a little bit later. hmm Yep. So yeah, at one point in the episode, she does see like Chloe Reed's staff. Doesn't see that Ariel is in fact Chloe Reed. At one point, prior to Yukito being sort of normal, Yukito runs into Ariel and tries to transform into Yukito, and then Yukito basically wipes Ariel wipes his memory of the little conversation they have. Yukito's like, "How did the heck I get over this thing?" Yep. But after he gets politely rejected, after he goes home, Lee basically volunteers to take her home, though he stops by the park, and he decides not to confess feelings at that point because she's not in the right mood yet. It's not the right time yet, though he does it soon. Yep. And she starts to feel a bit down for the next few episodes, but she gets better by the end of the series. And then to start wrapping up the series itself, they have it where Sakura in the third to last episode of the series decides to talk to Chloe Reed himself and try to ask him about what the heck is going on with this stuff, with all the magical stuff happening. So what she do? Goes to the cherry tree at the shrine temple that she used when she first caught the return card. And well, actually was Lee who caught it, but she's got the card because well, you gave her the cards. hmm So she goes back in time. Looks like she went back not like a few years like was before. This time she went back in time like a little over like 30 years in the past to a slightly different location. And then she goes to Clarice's house, which is basically revealed to be also Ariel's house. Yeah, how the heck he got this house, I have no idea. hmm Well, it's never really explained in the series. And of course, she talks to Clary. It's a pretty good conversation. But all this is set up for the very next episode, which, according to the Cardcaptor's title for this episode, it's Revelations Part 1. Yes, even though the episode from the version I watched had the original translation, which is Sakura meets Cloud Reed, the name of the episode. Yep, Ariel basically they're at the shrine, and Ariel shows up in his Cloud Reed suit, feels, yep, he's Cloud Reed, and he's the one behind everything. And he casts a big humongous spell on the entire freaking town. And she has to basically, in order to break the spell, she has to transform all the remaining cloud cards, which is revealed to be 8 at this point. Yes, 8 cloud cards left. Though I should point out, though, in the previous episode, in the 2 episodes back, she transformed the glow card into a soccer card. This one transforms all the remaining cards except 2, which are the light and dark cards. Which these 2 are the like 2 of the last 2 cards she captured at the end of season 2. And the way that she tries to do, which is transform both at the same time, doesn't work. And then Kuro and you, who also been fighting in the episode, fighting Ruby Moon and Spinny in the episode. Yeah, they got into a brawl. Why not? And so they've wanted to go inside the staff to transform into the proper cards. And then after they get transformed, Sakura uses the light card, dissipates the spell, and this is where afterwards the anime changed this particular scene. In the manga, like right after basically the spell is defeated, it's like, oh, we're basically done being nuisance to you. We're basically everything is over. So yeah. In the manga, he invited her to his house. In anime, he just disappeared. Unknown why that the anime changed the scene for. They also confirmed that he's actually the only reincarnation of Cloud Reed. Despite the fact in the manga, the other one was actually, believe it or not, Sakura's own father, who has a bit of a striking resemblance to Cloud Reed. Yeah, though they'll have the scene where Sakura transforms half of. This is in the episode. They don't show this one. I don't know if they do in the film, and I don't know where Sakura transfers half of his power, Era's power, to her father. Mm-hmm. Yep. And of course, well, also the end of episode 69, Lee finally confesses his feelings to Sakura, tell her that he loves her. This does kind of go someplace. Basically, she does get depressed, so basically it's also the Arrow has to move back to UK because, well, for some reason. Yeah, they never specify why he has to move back to UK, but he does. So they decide to go visit him at his house the next day instead of the same day like it was in the manga. I'm not really sure why they changed this for, but they did. And from this point forward, the next part of the episode proceeds pretty much the same way as it is in the manga. Like she's not being nuisance to her, eating tea and having cake. He talks to you. Yeah, it's pretty much almost the same as it was in the manga. And then of course Sakura basically it's also, and then something else happens. Aside from that, Arrow's going back to UK, Lee is going back to Hong Kong. And in the manga, they actually specify the reason why he does this. In the anime, they actually leave out the reason. In the manga, basically the reason why he's going back because his job is done. I mean, and it's also revealed the reason why he stayed in Tokyo after the Cloak cards were captured because of the new threat. That was the reason why he stayed. In the anime, they left out the explanation. I'm not really sure why they did that for, but they did. So he goes home. And he's ordered to do this by his mother. Now, in the manga, it kind of explained his family is actually in Tokyo, and then they had to go back to Hong Kong. In the anime, just Lee and his butler are in Tokyo. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So, Sakura, of course, is conflicted about her feelings for Lee. And it's kind of implied she does have feelings for Lee, but by the end of the episode, she creates a new card. You don't see what it is until the very end of the episode. And then she races to the airport. I'm not sure how the heck got there that quickly. Now, I'm sure the airport's probably pretty far away from her house. She must have used the fly card to get there. That because they saw her with her little like key that's hanging out. So my guess she must use the fly card to fly there really quickly. Because even by roller skates, it would have taken her hours to get there. So she must use the fly card and probably also the jump card as well to get there really quickly. So Lee basically now Lee's butler goes to get his boarding pass. Nowadays, basically, we actually get the boarding. We actually print the boarding passes on a computer before actually the plane itself. Yep, we actually get that before we go to the airport. Here, they do it at the airport itself. So, basically, him checking in. Though I should point out, though, when they showed the booth here is actually different than it is here. I know, because I've been to the airport many times. Yeah, the thing the way it is here is that you just a little like it's basically it's basically the register itself plus like a square like desk basically, and there's like a very right behind it. And check in means you actually check in your bag. That's pretty much what it is. And basically, usually you get to check in like one bag. Nowadays, it's like $25 per bag. You actually check in, and you have to take them off the conveyor once you get to your destination. In the case of this, well, it's just a normal ticketing booth. And of course, well, Lee at the end of the episode decides to give Sakura the teddy bear he made for her. In the manga, he still has it for some reason. I don't mind this change. It's fine. And well, she says that, did you make that bear for me? He says yes. And she keeps the bear. He goes out to Hong Kong, and then you have a montage of the best moments of the series over the ending credits. And then just before the episode ends, you have Sakura and Kiro just in the same outfit, mind you. Her outfit is basically kind of like what a 12-year-old probably would wear. Yeah, with a little cross. Yeah, and do not know what exactly they say because they have music over it for some strange reason. I don't know why, but they did. And that's pretty much the series in a nutshell. Well, for the last 7 episodes. Next review for this series will be on the second film, which is the finale for this particular series. And we'll get my final thoughts for the anime, well, this first series, when I get a chance to talk about the actual film itself. Now, I want to talk. Now, I think that the film probably would have the dub they have. I'm not sure how it is, basically, the I'm using. But as for in the case of the dub I watched this particular series, it's really good. Very faithful to the source material, basically using. It's not Viz Media who actually does this. I look them up. I think it's NES America. It's NIS America. They're the ones who actually did this dub, and it's a really good dub. I like it. I have nothing against people who like the original dub. I know people want to hear the original dub, but here's kind of the strange thing. I'm not sure why this is, where apparently the original dub is very difficult to find. What did the company got business? As far as I can tell, the company's still in business. Unknown why they actually didn't bother to do it. Also, and this I've got to talk about this before I talk about the film. Apparently, the original dub actors who did Sakura in the original, for some reason could not be. But apparently, the people who actually did the English dub for the film apparently decided to switch dub actors for some reason for her. From what I heard in the commenter, the actress was heartbroken the fact she couldn't actually finish doing the dub. She wanted to do that film, but for some reason replaced it with Carrie Wintergreen. Nothing against the actor, she's a damn good dub actor, but what are for? It's so bizarre. I mean, it's never been able to explain exactly why. The original English dub actor, the one who got explained to me, her name is Carly McKeep, who actually was, in fact, at the time she did the original, was a child actor. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Because normally girls around this age usually might be voiced by, let's say, slightly older women, like maybe women in their 20s or maybe 30s. But having a little girl voicing a little girl, smart decision on the part of the original, which is Nirvana. Yeah, I gotta at least get handed to her, the original dub. Mm-hmm. Though, okay, so apparently the dub for the film was done by Bang Zoom Entertainment. I'm familiar with these people because they also did the dub for One Punch Man. They're really good at dubbing. As for why they were chosen to do the dub for second film, I have no idea. If the guy would comment, that guy who went to my basically of hey, replace the dub, the voice cast for the film, I have no idea. It's particularly very weird of why they replaced the entire original dub cast who dubbed the original film and dubbed the entire 70 episode anime, but they couldn't dub the second film. This makes no sense at all to do. I mean, at least in the case of a lot of the other series I've watched, if there's a film associated with the actual series, they actually bothered to have the English dub cast. I mean, of all films I've seen, anime films who actually are tied into shows, they actually have the same exact dub cast, with the exception of the Yu Hakusho films for some reason. Because for some strange reason, I have no idea why the heck they did this for. Because if if anybody's ever listened to the dub for the Yu Yu Hakusho films the first time, it's not the same dub actor from the show. For some strange reason, they replaced the entire dub cast for the films. And yeah, that was never explained either. But yeah, but as a whole, when it comes to this particular dub, the NIS America dub, it's really good, especially at the what is it called? The anime stuff. I believe that's what they call it. Yeah, it's really good. I thoroughly enjoy it. And I at least got appreciate the fact that this now the final arc of the manga was like 24 chapters, which is pretty much the same length as he had this particular season, 24 episodes. hmm That's quite interesting though. That's like that, where this season the same length as what the arc adapted from. At least in the case of when they adapted the original arc, the Clo arc, that was 26 chapters, and they adapted for about 40. I think it was like 46 episodes, like a lot of episodes, a lot. My personal guess is they just probably just add some filler stuff there. Yep. So not much else to say about the particular series, but in the case of how more videos I'm gonna do for this series, this gonna be several more. Next one's gonna cover the second film, which will be part 14. 15 will cover the 3 shorts, and for parts 16 to 20, I'll cover the Clear Card series. And that will be pretty much the end of the Cardcaptor Sakura and reviews. Yeah, this will end with video number 20. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. I have roughly 2 more videos I'm going to do. Yeah, I was planning to do a review for the second film tonight, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow. Because the thing with Thursday is I don't have any scheduled videos to do tomorrow. So I'm going to save it for tomorrow along with the specials. Yep. But next video I'm going to do, as soon as I read the newest chapter of it, review the newest chapter of 7 Deadly Sins, okay? See you next video. Bye.